Today our guest is Vasif Movsumov, Executive Director of the Fund of Struggle Against Corruption. Today is International Anti-Corruption Day. Today Transparency International Organization announced Global Transparency Barometer. What's the situation of Azerbaijan corruption regarding the inquiries? First of all, I'd like to speak shortly of 9 December International Anti-Corruption Day. In 31 October 2003, the United Nations Assembly declared the 9th of December to be celebrated as World Anti-Corruption Day each year. Azerbaijan joined this convention in 2005. In February 2004, Azerbaijan signed this convention, and in November 1, 2005, Milli Meclis adopted it. The normative documents conventions adopted by Azerbaijan regarding the anti-corruption, and these measures are evaluated highly by international organizations. But there are still problems with the execution of these laws. UN Convention was adopted for preventing global corruption. Sometimes it's said corruption is an illness, but in Convention it was considered as a crime. World countries accept it a secular crime. Every year, Transparency International Organization announces barometer. This barometer provides an indicator of how corruption is viewed at national level and a measure of people's experience of corruption in the past year. There were interesting facts about Azerbaijan. 52% of interviewers think corruption was increased in Azerbaijan. 28% of interviewers think corruption was decreased. The as indicator contrasts these numbers. It says 66% of interviewers think measures taken by government for fighting the corruption were effective. So it's disputable to compare measures taken by government for fighting the corruption with the increase of corruption. It seems the approach of international organizations also differ from one another. Yes, of course. For fighting against corruption, different inquiries should be held by government at least twice in a year. Citizens should be aware of corruption situation in the country and the government fighting against it. As there is no such inquiries, we have to base on international organizations' inquiries. Besides, WikiLeaks website spread international reports, and there is wide information about Azerbaijan officials, their illegal property wealth, and so on. Were these facts investigated? Does it contrast one another? Law enforcement bodies investigate such cases in countries where corruption observed less. It's a pity, but Azerbaijan is not included in those countries. Do law enforcement bodies think of investigating such cases in Azerbaijan? Of course. Nonetheless, the law was adopted on announcing state officials' incomes. This law has not been applied in Azerbaijan yet. But in 2007, President declared an order for the execution of this law. This is the result of official resistance. Bureaucrats resist on apply of this law. If the bureaucrats will declare their incomes to mass media by reports, their activity would be transparent. How do you evaluate the general situation in Azerbaijan? People talk about corruption everywhere. Does it contrast the inquiries? According to the investigations results held by our fund, the resistance of population against corruption was increased. People are not afraid of expressing their opinions not only in streets, but also in events, conferences. All this shows the increase of resistance. But it's a pity the resistance was not changed into fight. The resistance was increased, but corruption is not reduced. There are different governmental bodies which operate to fight the corruption. Which officials were punished by these governmental bodies? We cannot say that it's easy to reduce corruption in some years. Actually, the punishment of any official means to fight against the results of corruption. This is not effective way. To arrest any official does not play any role in this fight. This situation for taking bribes should be eliminated, and we need competitive economics, perfection of management, free mass media, and strong opposition for it. These terms are needed for establishing the democratic state. Recently, Saakashvili dismissed all employees of Georgian Sea administration as he considered they had played an important role in illegality. Another example, he took such measure in customs system and arrested 39 customs employees in a day. Individuals suggesting bribe was brought to the court. While visiting Georgia, all people can observe the laws of this country. Is the Georgian experience not an example for Azerbaijan? Yes, the prevention of daily corruption in Georgia is a good example. There are two ways for fighting corruption in the world: East and West methods. West method is the strengthening of civil society, free mass media, and opposition. East method is applied in Japan, China, Southern Korea. The state supervision is the main point of East method. We should apply both methods. Is East or West method is applied in Azerbaijan? Azerbaijan uses West method. Educational methods are applied in Azerbaijan. What's the result? The result can be evaluated if the officials will be punished and serious measures will be taken for fighting against corruption. There is good situation for applying Georgian version. There is strong economy in Azerbaijan. We should resist against bureaucrats. Is it so difficult to do it in Azerbaijan? If it was possible in Georgia, why it cannot be applied in Azerbaijan? Because every bureaucrat follows orders of government more than laws. Does it depend on bureaucrats, government, or free economy, market economy, free elections, freedom of assembly, expression, criticism? All these should be achieved in a complex form. West countries did not achieve it by arresting one bureaucrat. These countries took serious steps for establishing democratic country. Azerbaijan should also achieve it step by step, but we should consider that this is an eastern country, so we need to apply punishment. What about political will? If political will cannot change into public will, it will not have effect. Thank you for coming to our studio. Today my guest was Vasif Movsumov, Executive Director of SPAND of Struggle Against Corruption.